Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Court Cutting TV, Bluford's Tax Preparation, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, Casa Samtonieta Indialapa, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, John Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Montzon Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live on Facebook, live on YouTube, where we break down important headlines from our city, state, and country. We bring them to your attention. You bring your questions and comments and ideas to my attention, and we all benefit from all this knowledge, hopefully, as a community of English-speaking locals. It is a pleasure to see you today. It's August 29th. The month is almost over, which means that Mexico's Independence Month is right around the corner. And I'm excited about that because there's all kinds of wonderful things going on in September. At the same time, September is the month that is considered to be the slowest in Puerto Vallarta when it comes to revenue. So we'll see how we fare. I have some interesting news to share with you today. So hopefully you have your favorite beverage. I'm still navigating on iced coffee mode here at Casa Chaos, and I will continue to do iced coffee until the weather changes. Let's take a look at the news first, and we'll take it from there. Yesterday, a dozen citizens protested against the water rate increase, and I'll have more details about that in a second, as well as the supply interruptions and poor service provided by the Puerto Vallarta water drainage and sewage system, known to us as Seapal. The protesters demanded assistance from Mayor Luis Munguia. However, the City and Historic Center manager Juan Pablo Ramirez was the one to show up. But he wasn't able to convince them to leave, as they said they were fed up with submitting documents without receiving any solutions. And the important thing to keep in mind is that they are back this morning on Morelos Street, blocking traffic. So if you have any business to attend in the downtown area of the city and you're planning to arrive by public transportation or by your own vehicle, you might be better off not going into town and taking the Libramiento instead. All that said, I don't foresee that this blockage is going to take a lot of time to be resolved because the governor of Jalisco is in town, and I am sure local authorities would not want him to see that adventure going on. And I'll have more news about the governor in a second. First, what is this business of water price increase? Well, it is happening. The Seapal Vallarta Council will approve an 8% increase in domestic, commercial, and industrial water rates, in addition to creating a new classification for accommodations such as Airbnbs that are used as lodging services. This is really important. If you own an Airbnb unit or more, I'll get into that in a second. The proposal for 2026 is an 8% increase in all rates. Therefore, the minimum domestic rate will increase from 230 pesos and 94 centavos to 249 pesos and 42 centavos, which is not a lot, but it's still enough for some people to be protesting, particularly when their service is not continuous as guaranteed by the Constitution. And here's where it gets interesting for Airbnb owners. If you own an Airbnb unit or 2 or 10 or however many, your service will be even more expensive. Seapal is creating the domestic, residential, commercial, and lodging service rate, where places identified as providing lodging will pay a base rate of 349 pesos and 19 centavos. That is an increase of 100 pesos, or almost a third of the previous rate, for those who consume 0 to 20 cubic meters, with a rate increasing depending on consumption. One way or another, what this seems to indicate is that next year, the bills that you pay as an Airbnb owner will go higher, and either you will have to, you know, eat that increase, or you will have to pass it on to your renters. Now, why is the governor in town? Well, the governor of Jalisco, Pablo Lemus, will be conducting a working tour of Puerto Vallarta and Cabo Corrientes today. It has been reported that he may oversee the construction of the Mismaloya interchange and pier, although this has not been, not the Mismaloya interchange, the Las Juntas interchange. This has not been officially confirmed, and this could be a private project. What is official is that he will be at the inauguration of the Las Ánimas Beach Pier, and that will happen at 12:40 and between 12:40 in the afternoon and 1:30 in the afternoon. So again, if Governor Lemus is in town, I don't foresee that the protest in City Hall will take place for a long time. Now, what is this all about? All these news are connected because in a city council meeting that took place earlier this week, that lasted nearly 4 hours, Mayor Munguia and the council members approved the 2026 revenue law. This despite demands from citizens who demanded their right to be heard before the vote. Now, I don't know how the revenue law works in other countries, but in Mexico, the revenue law is a legal system that the legislative branch approves annually at the proposal of the executive branch. It establishes the concepts and amounts under which a government, whether it's federal, state, or municipal, will collect economic resources to finance its expenses during a fiscal year. So the news about Seapal have to do with this law. And of course, the approved budget amounts to 3.1 billion 869,000 pesos. Oh, excuse me for a second. And this includes fees for public parking and parking meters, a 5% increase compared to the previous year, justified by inflation. So, again, this law is essentially the law that establishes what a municipality like Puerto Vallarta needs, the amount of money that it needs to operate, and how it intends to obtain it. So, two things that are important to stand out here. The government intends to obtain more revenue by increasing water rates. The government also intends to obtain more revenue by installing parking meters. So the parking meters have been essentially approved. Now, when and where they will happen, I don't know. During the discussion, there were many citizens present, hoping that the process would be halted to open a space for dialogue, but this didn't happen. And Mayor Munguia left hurriedly, protected by his public security officers. This is not the first time that we see our mayor avoiding those kinds of confrontations. And of course, we will have to see as time goes by how these new laws are implemented. I don't see any of this coming until the new fiscal year in 2026, but we'll see what happens. Now let's take a quick look at the weather to see what's going on out there. I don't know what LARP stands for, but it says here, Jesus LARPing Christ. It's partly cloudy. It isn't outside of my apartment. It's 30 degrees. Humidity is at 68%. And our weather forecast indicates that today we're going to have mostly cloudy skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 34%, a high of 32, and a low of 25. Tomorrow, Saturday, overcast skies in the morning with thunderstorms in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 62%, a high of 32, and a low of 25. And then on Sunday, scattered thunderstorms possible throughout the day, chance of rain of 88%, a high of 31, and a low of 25. And now I do have one leisurely bit of news to share. Banderas, thanks to Banderas News, of course. Banderas News reports that while many local restaurants and venues take a break in September, Nacho Daddy is coming back from vacation and will be back in action on September 1st of this year, kicking off its 17th season. Congratulations. And Break a Leg Tammy and Break a Leg Sean. I interviewed Sargento Dan yesterday, and part of the interview he shared with me has to do with upcoming performances with Amy Armstrong at Nacho Daddy. Of course, that is the place where Amy Armstrong performs, and I was very excited to hear about that. And we will air my interview with Sargento Dan tomorrow morning, and that way you will be able to learn more about what he is up to, not only in the fall, but in the next few weeks.
Every September, Mexico comes alive with the sounds of independence, and this year, you're invited to experience it like never before. On Thursday, September 11th at 5 p.m. at The Joint, music storyteller Paco Ojeda returns with his sold-out favorite, Viva Mexico. This is not just a history talk, it's a journey through songs, stories, and traditions that define who we are. From the cry of Viva Mexico to the powerful notes of Huapango, from Cielito Lindo to mariachi, cuisine, crafts, and even the proper way to honor our national flag. It's the ideal way for English-speaking locals and visitors to deepen their understanding of our culture, especially during Mexico's most patriotic celebration. We'll uncover the events that lit the spark of independence, the voices that carried it forward, and the music that keeps it alive today. It's entertaining, it's enlightening, and it always sells out. So if you love Mexico, its history, its music, its soul, this is one evening you don't want to miss. Viva Mexico, Thursday, September 11th, 5 o'clock at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. Tickets are 300 pesos per person, available at the hotel's reception desk. Purchase yours before they sell out.
Hello again. We are here looking at comments, and I see many good mornings. Thank you very, very, very much. Let's see. Oh, I see somebody has, okay, Glenn was redirected on an Uber due to the water protest this morning. Again, it's unfortunate that it happened, but I don't foresee this is going to happen for a long time today. The increase should only apply to the new construction condos built since 2023. I don't know if this is wishful thinking, Linda, or if you're acquainted with the law. Again, this was just authorized, so I don't know exactly how it is going to be implemented. But that's an interesting point. I don't know if the law is going to contemplate whether your Airbnb has been operating since whatever year or before, or I don't know. We'll keep you posted on that one. Michael, community partner Michael Buford is on vacation in Portugal. I have no idea what time it is in Portugal right now, Michael, but it is a pleasure to see you. Get some well-deserved rest and come back to Puerto Vallarta soon so that we can enjoy SciMPV and we can enjoy Bravos one more time. Boom, 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 boom. And I don't see any more comments. I don't have much more prepared for you today, but I think tomorrow we will air not only Sargento Dan's interview, but I will also air the exploration of the ferry boat. I will do that for tomorrow. And of course, we will wait to continue our Yelapa exploration until next week. In the meantime, start getting ready for the weekend. I know I am getting ready for the weekend, and I hope you have wonderful plans for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow morning with more coffee, more headlines, and more stories to share with you, including interview with Sargento Dan and our walking tour or walk around of the ferry that will take us to Islas Marias next year. Have a good one.